A good reminder. Use the cameras to see what's in the next room.
Arrival proceeds as planned. We will not be swayed by cowardly acts of terror. Stricter punishments for traitors urged. I heard the powers that be are secretly hoping for some kind of an attack to justify all these new security measures. And while they would prefer it to be bloodless, I suspect they'll take anything. Perhaps they'll even carry it out themselves to ensure it happens before the arrival.
I once spent some time stuffed in a locker. This may surprise you, but I wasn't very popular in high school.
Going into Becca's pockets. Nice.
I see you have discovered one of my floppy disks. As a hardcore gamer, looks like one of my colleagues has left a pin code sitting out for everyone to see. I long for the days when basic common sense was a prerequisite for gainful employment.
Station 17, this is Madame Prideaux. Concerning that precal I had interned 390H, I require more time with this subject prior to her dissection. However, I feel Derringer is bent on challenging my judgment. And after what happened with 933W, I feel compelled to remind you, all children are under my authority. If he attempts to interfere, you will locate me immediately.
Recently, the children in Metamorphosis have become more brazen in their attempts to take things from the Prizrak. Surely, this was Zager's influence.
Got him. Zager killed in firefight with Prizrak. The depravity of this man was boundless. Best to remove the comments section for the online edition, and change "shot dead by Prizrak" to "killed in firefight by Prizrak." This way it suggests he was given a sporting chance. When the surveillance video of this day surfaces, and it will, it's going to require major surgery if they want it to look like justice.
Check his pockets. Got it.
Few games make us think about the stories and secrets we all keep hidden from others. Gone Home is a beautiful game, one I found myself ruminating on long after its credits. I found myself thinking on the Overseer's manifesto and his crusade for a more idyllic society. Our relationship with technology provides order and control. Yet, even in a place like this, there are things even cameras can't see.
A Zager cassette.
This looks like an old cassette tape. You may find this difficult to believe, but I am actually old enough to remember when these were popular. I remember seeing an old boombox when we ransacked one of Zager's hideouts. However, with the facility's new censorship system coming online, I suspect most of this Zager end will be suppressed. The man enjoyed his salty language, to put it mildly. The paranoia is warranted in this case. A precal once found the key to the armory and stole a dozen tasers. It took 7 Prizrak to finally bring him down. Despite being obnoxious, this poster makes a valid point. The girl is less likely to attract attention if she walks softly. Last month, a precal got their hands on a canister of pepper spray. They blinded a loyalist Prizrak during routine inspection. Wanted. Well, Derringer and the Overseer got what they wanted. A trophy kill. I'm surprised they didn't drag Zager's body through the facility as a warning to all of the would-be revolutionaries. Derringer asked me how much money I wasted on this DFA poster. I said it was $10. I lied. Turns out it was $250 on Kickstarter. Worth every penny. As a reminder that Kickstarter is, and will forever be cool, I hang this Shovel Knight poster proudly. The box that I keep my video game cartridges in. If I ever get my games back, I'm going to store them in a more secure fashion. Well, when you ask me nicely like that,
Cooper, I went looking for you earlier in your little woman cave over there. I shouldn't need to tell you what I found was entirely unacceptable. You were given the added task of overseeing the surveillance monitoring program, because I thought you were man enough to handle the responsibility. However, now that I've been exposed to all that in your office, I'm forced to reevaluate my decision. This is a severe behavioral disorder, Cooper. And in its own way, as screwed up as anything Zager tried to do. I expect you to fix this lapse in judgment before I have to come back with a hammer and a trash bag.
This is an early prototype for a weapon Derringer insisted we need in Metamorphosis. With Zager dead, I'm not sure who Derringer thinks we're at war with, but he bought 5,000 of these things with money from our annual food budget. Hopefully, they are edible landmines. I was given this award for my loyalty to the Prizrak. Ironic, given the current circumstances. They also misspelled my name. The great thing about Kickstarter is that we can bring back classic games from the past. I remember playing the Shadowrun pen and paper game in my parents' basement. It was kinda fun. I hear it's much better when you play with other people. This is a battery charging station. Certain Omni abilities will drain the battery on the girl's phone. You'll see her battery life displayed in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Direct the girl to any recharging station to juice up. Collected contraband is up by 47% in recent months. For a secure location, you would be surprised by what we find in their pockets.
I'll hold on to this.
The girl has found one of the banned books. The Overseer has banned many books inside of Metamorphosis.
We have observed you spending a great deal of time in the library recently. Perhaps I should ask the librarian about these indiscretions. Did he give you the poisoned manifesto? If not him, child, then who? Speak! I have been put here to shepherd you. But you must accept that help, or we will both face the consequences.
The Prizrak waged their campaign against Zager from this very room. The following conversation was recorded 2 months ago.
Listen, Prizrak, calling the man a menace doesn't give him the credit he deserves. Put another team on scrubbing through the footage.
I will, sir. Though so far the camera network hasn't been terribly effective.
Zager's a human being, not some phantom. He casts a shadow like the rest of us. And I'm giving you more than you should need to find him now, should that prove too difficult for you.
No, sir. I understand. Watch your step.
This email was sent more than a month ago. The precal in question, 933W, is still at large. It seems the librarian has been flagged for suspicion of distributing the poisoned manifestos. I hope the girl finds him before Derringer does.
Gentlemen, I am not going to explain this to you again. Mireille Prideaux can hem and haw all she wants, but that is not in charge of security. I am. You transfer copies of the children's fingerprints to my secure server, or you can consider yourself reassigned to the graveyard shift.
Let's see what he's got on him. Got it. Going in for the steal. Nice.
This was the best game I played in 2012, but I didn't stop playing it then. I find myself going back to Journey whenever I need a pick-me-up, a reminder that life is a journey, that this world is beautiful, that humanity is good, if given the proper rules to live by. A fingerprint scan. It would be terrible if this got into the wrong hands. They would have a lot of power at their fingertips. Hint, hint. Not surprisingly, the Prizrak who wrote this is no longer with us. The security checkpoints in this facility are always evolving. Yesterday, PIN codes were all the rage. Today, it's fingerprint and iris scans. Tomorrow, it will be blood.
This is Quinn Derringer. We've had another instance of someone screwing with the generator over at the power station. I ordered that fingerprint reader installed a week ago. I want it done today. Is that understood? Call me back when you get this. And I suggest you give me the news I want to hear.
Okay, how does it sound? Dear Mr. Derringer, after mentioning this to you in passing, I wanted to send you this letter reminding you of my sincere desire for advancement. I believe I have a lot to offer, and in my current position, I will not be able to demonstrate my true potential. Plus, it's boring. Whenever you have time, I would love the opportunity to discuss my moving to the day shift at greater length. Sincerely, yada yada yada. How's that?
There is an ideal we all live by. A pillar upon which all our collective hopes and aspirations are stacked, extending upwards towards a glorious future. We create symbols to give these ideals power, to remind us to look up, to look forward. Today I give you that symbol with an expectation of the greatness it will inspire. We must remain open to all things, while still vigilant against the corruptive forces working around us. Let this symbol be our beacon through the long night, and let it stand as a testimonial once we reach the light of the sun.
Settle down, children, settle down. I am as anxious as you are to acquaint myself with Miss Prideaux. She is a most welcome addition to our Republique. And to that end, I would like to present her and all of you with this small gift, a symbol of longevity and the relationships we look forward to watching take root.
Thank you so much, Headmaster. As one who will be so singularly focused on the well-being of these young, bright minds, I am truly humbled. I cannot express how sincerely I am looking forward to getting to know each and every one of you.
Zager's poisoned manifestos. More fuel for the fire. Mireille's liberal arts education is of little benefit in this crushing environment. I wonder if she would even recognize her former, idealistic self.
What? What is this? Mon Dieu. Banning the children's access to such fundamental literature was not enough. Now he believes these books have been smuggled into the domes. Please let the headmaster know that I shall investigate this, despite his suspicions being not only unwarranted, but mildly insulting.
Madame, do you really want me to tell him that?
All but the last part.
The girl should be extra careful going forward. Looks like Mireille knows she has escaped from the brig. A cell phone charger, worthless without the phone, but no less dangerous as contraband. I wonder what this mystery room with no camera feed could be. A Zager safe room, perhaps?
Prizrak, I just received an alarming message that 933W was seen leaving the library wearing one of our uniforms. He may be heading back your way to find that girl he's been crushing on. Notify me immediately if the actions of any of our agents seem in the least bit suspicious to you.
Zager's secret compound discovered. Inside the rat hole, sources say pornography, drugs everywhere. Zager almost certainly had other hiding spots. Even Derringer suggested as much to me the other night in a, interview? I'm not printing this, of course. makes him look bad. Makes them all look bad. You can't be perceived as having cracked security when a crackpot is living in your walls rent-free.
This is the girl's room. 390H. Of course, this isn't what she calls herself.
Okay. He almost got me. Let's see what he's got on him. Got it.
I would pronounce the team behind this freaky little game, but text to There are many alcoves within Metamorphosis. Each one, a perfect fit for a precal who wishes to remain unseen.
H, my dear, my inspiring pupil. I know you're not accustomed to gifts, but this is more than just some trinket. It is a secret between you and I, and it cannot be shared until we are both ready. So I will keep the key for safekeeping until the two of us agree to open it together. Until then, I hope you will treasure its beauty as much as I do you. And when you gaze upon it, I hope your thoughts will be of me.
Hey, Fishy. You hungry? Here you go. What does the world look like to you? Fishy, I'll tell you a secret. I like a boy who lives on the other hall. The one we call Weep. He sits beside me in history class, and he's adorable. I'm too shy to talk to him. Pyramid flags flutter in the wind. His voice carries above them, singing a promise to... I'll take this.
There are few things, librarian, as disappointing as failed leadership, especially when that leadership fails by giving in to mental illness or desire. Hawthorne came from a line of leaders, but you wouldn't know that by reading his account of Dimsdale. The Scarlet Letter would teach our citizens that its leadership can succumb to the weaknesses that we work daily to cure. Such doubt is unacceptable. Where would we be without faith in government?
may come in handy.
Japan had the sense to try and then fine a translator for dragging this garbage into Japanese. Out there beyond our walls, Lady Chatterley's lover has a reputation as sidekick to hormones in adolescent awakenings. Puberty is a delicate time. We need to cultivate it as a plant in a garden. We cannot teach them control with this floating around. I assure you, we know better than Lawrence.
Going in for the steel. Got it.
A modern game with all the trappings of a great 90s arcade cabinet, Mutant.
Look what your arrogance has wrought. You are destroying the things that make your life meaningful. You are doing this to yourself. And unless you tell me where you have hidden that manifesto, I will accelerate that which you have already chosen to inflict upon yourself. Prizrak, take this precal to confinement.
The Zager cassette.
This looks like an old cassette tape. You may find this difficult to believe, but I am actually old enough to remember when these were popular. I remember seeing an old boombox when
Going in to pick his pockets. Nice.
they call Super Hexagon a Twitch game. I doubt even Doc Holliday had quick enough reflexes for this one. I've never gotten farther than 3.5 seconds. It's intense. I don't know if that's because it gives me vertigo, or because of the ominous lady shouting game over every time I die.
I'm arranging one of the tech crews to run a full diagnostic of the metal detectors in the facility. But I want you to oversee the work on your station personally. There are too many potential hiccups that could be had in the commissary. And with the arrival approaching so quickly, I'm looking to you to shore up the weakest link. If you need any additional resources, you let me know.
I would add stolen cell phones to that list.
Threat level is back to normal.
Let's see what he's carrying. I got something.
When I play Kentucky Route Zero, I'm transported to my childhood. I can smell the coffee-stained computer in my father's home office. Conway's surrealistic point-and-click adventure is something best experienced on a quiet Sunday morning. As the sunlight pours into the room, I wonder when the developers at Cardboard Computer will release the next episode. I don't mind waiting though. Every new episode is a gift.
On the attack. Target neutralized. I'll check his pockets. Nice.
Don't let creator Benjamin Rivers serenade you with lies about how this game is just a sci-fi romantic adventure. I know what Alone with You is really about. It's about the time video games were going through an existential crisis. Driving around in a Trans Am, feathered mullet blowing in the wind, rocking that new CD player and not truly knowing who they are, or why they're here, or what that disembodied voice is telling them. And that's a beautiful thing.
I'll take this.
The body is strange, librarian. Oxytocin and endorphins lead so many to...
If the girl needs to circumvent a room full of Prizrak, the vents are a good way to travel.
I'll check his pockets. I got...
Destiny was my favorite jam of 2014. I just want to live in a tight fantasy sci-fi world, blasting away at enemies, dancing in the tower, and taking a breather while in the majestic aurora of orbit. Destiny is the rock and roll of games today. Even its stiff-necked detractors are quietly tapping their toe to its infectious beat.
Help!
I can't see!
Can you believe that many regard Whitman, the iconic poet of the American Republic?
Clear.
Going in for the steal. Got it.
Gravity Rush is secretly one of the most innovative games from Japan in the past few years. I love everything about this game, the thrill of its gravity-defying platforming, its twisted Parisian aesthetic, and even the name of the heroine's black cat, Dusty. You may not know a ton about Japanese culture, I'm an expert. But Gravity Rush is called Gravity Days in Japan. That's so much cooler. Before we can look to the future, we must look to the one who will lead us there.
Of the Pacific Fleet. Pacific? You're a long way from home, Admiral. So are you, if I'm to believe the rumors. First time in Washington, sir? Hardly. I was told General Karnofsky was heading up this project. The General retired over the holidays. I'm overseeing now, from a military standpoint at least. I see. Apologies if I seem hurried. I have a meeting with the new superintendent of the Naval Academy at 1. That's in 5 minutes. Like I said. Well, it's hardly enough time to pitch my vision. So I've read over your evaluative study, and we've taken your recommendations into account. Is this a joke to you? Excuse me? Your security, the security of your country, is at stake. Now you listen here. I dedicate my life to the protection and security of the United States. If you think you have a better approach, we'll entertain it. But do not come in here and make threats. I made no such... And try to muscle some wildly expensive cryptographic software through the door. You can pay today to prevent a catastrophe. Or you'll pay tomorrow to clean it up. Okay, that's a threat. Right there. You get out of my office. Now!
fake passports and foreign currency. The overseer has an escape plan, even if the rest of us do not.
Censorship AI to be updated, expanded. Profanity. And
I'll hold on to this. Check his pockets. I got something.
Consumers don't know what they want, or at least that's what a bunch of corporate executives tell themselves every day. In the case of 2D Venia games, most publishers stop funding these so they can focus on crappy mobile games for babies. Thanks to bold indie developers like Tom Happ and Axiom Verge, we don't need no stinking corporation to make the games we want. Though this email doesn't mention it, we all know it was the librarian that slipped those poisoned manifestos to the kids.
This is Central. Derringer's folks distributed the new allotment of tasers last night. With all the added precautions because of the arrival, he insisted they be stowed in the lockbox for safekeeping. Passcode is 4118. And watch your step. If you thought the old ones had a kick, you really don't want to be on the business end of one of these new models.
Why are they spying on the boys? I'll be taking this.
Pasternak, in the Soviet Union, wrote a book critical of the October...
Such a display of finality is premature, don't you think?
Derringer doesn't think so. Either that kid's long gone or he's a skeleton in a wall somewhere. Either way, leaving his stuff laying around will only be a distraction.
And this is not. You want our wards to focus on the arrival, and not the poison in those manifestos, correct? Then perhaps such a public celebration of the boy's ability to elude us is counterproductive, no?
Armed and ready to take him back. I'll check his pockets. Nice.
Half turn-based RPG, half Viking soap opera, the Banner Saga really has no business existing, which is why it warms my cold gamer heart that my fellow gamers kickstarted this game into existence. The team at Stoic delivered on their ambitious promises, and helped prove that us gamers can spot a hot new IP even when big publishers cannot. This old-school boombox is ideal for playing back any audio cassettes the girl finds. Zager called this photo the perfect metaphor for our times. Zager was always inspired by uprisings. He hoped to inspire those inside Metamorphosis to rise up in similar fashion. Zager's altered manifesto was still a work in progress at the time of his death. The first photograph Zager ever took. There's an interesting story behind it. He told of it in his version of the manifesto.
This may come in handy.
Voltaire suffers from the core flaw of satire. He manifests the very
Pages from the mini manifesto. Looks like they've been ripped out. Mireille would be wise to dispose of these more discreetly. Something in those pages has Mireille quite upset. Zager's words sting like tear gas in the eyes of the establishment.
Going in for the steal. Got it.
The fall is so immersive. I find myself thinking like the protagonist while I play. Let's say I was a sentient Asimov AI, embedded in the suit of a space pilot critically injured in a crash landing. Would I reject my directives and fight for my life? Frankly, it's a dilemma best explored within the confines of the game. The eerie parallels to our current predicament are not lost on me.
What's yours is mine.
If ever there was a flawed prophet, it was Huxley. His world state gave its citizens
A Zager cassette. Let's see what he's got on him. Nice.
A screwdriver. The team at Supergiant quit their cushy corporate jobs, moved in together, and cranked out this seminal indie action game. Bastion is not only worth playing because of its strong narrative and action RPG elements, but because it was an early victory in the independent game revolution. Bravo, kid.
Nabokov, a pornographer, whose sins surpass even pornography.
Body scanners do not cause cancer. Metamorphosis doctors say fears unfounded. That's a good strong headline. Go print it before we're told otherwise. Say, which do you think would rile the citizens more? The fact that these machines do indeed cause cancer, or the fact that the naked images they capture are being turned into playing cards for the perverse amusement of the Prizrak?
The Overseer seeks to erase nudity from art, even as his body scanners create these vulgar portraits. They don't save the images, LOL. Derringer has a server with the nude images of every poor soul who stepped inside that body scanner. Except for Derringer himself, of course. A broken collar. The precal who wore it was also broken by Mireille, and that was before the Prizrak got their claws into him.
Mireille Azali Prideaux. Dissection of a precal.
Some doors in Metamorphosis require voice recognition data to open.
A cassette.